In the depths of deep space, a human spaceship arrives at an alien planet inhabited by a species known simply as the Swarm. On board, an alien addresses Simon Afriel, a human researcher, expressing their appreciation for doing business with humans, but admitting they fail to see the profit in studying the Swarm. The alien then reminds Afriel that, according to their contract, they will return in 600 days. After bidding farewell, Simon enters the Swarm's ecosystem, where he meets his contact, Dr. Galina Murney, another human researcher. To ensure he is not perceived as an invader, one of the aliens bites his leg, transferring pheromones that signal his presence to the Queen. The Swarm Hive consists of various castes, along with multiple alien species that have been absorbed into the collective, all coexisting in a complex symbiotic relationship. Galina explains that none of the swarm castes use language, but the symbiotic species do. She communicates with a species she calls springtails, once a spacefaring civilization, now reduced to parasitic scavengers after being absorbed by the swarm. So far, she has identified around 15 symbiotic species living among the hundreds of native swarm castes. The hive's primary food source is nutrient-rich fungi. Simon and Galina climb onto a massive creature called a tunneler, which carries them deeper into the nest. They eventually reach the heart of the hive, where the queen resides, capable of creating any caste of worker as needed. The entire nest functions as a vast genetic automaton. She then shows him the warrior castes, whose sole purpose is to defend the queen's eggs. Galina asks Simon why he's really here. Simon explains that the swarm is a nearly perfect organic system, one that could be used to impose order on the chaos of human expansion. In other words, he wants to exploit the power of the swarm. Galina responds by telling him that if it's order he's after, he should take a look around. The nest has existed for millions of years, with an abundance of food and no war. Galina warns Simon that these creatures should not be used as pawns in a power struggle, but Simon insists that he only needs one egg, so humanity can create a new queen from its genetic material. Galina argues that they would still need the nest's pheromones to control them. In response, Simon reveals an artificial pheromone vein they've created using the samples she sent, which would allow them to control millions of workers. They are planning to breed a slave race. Simon argues that these creatures are primordial and not sentient enough to comprehend freedom. Galina agrees, noting that it won't make a difference whether they work for humans or the swarm. She reluctantly agrees to help him, as long as no harm comes to the nest. Together, they extract the artificial vein and begin testing the synthesized pheromone. Using it for tasks like grouping, gathering resources, digging, growing food, harvesting, and finally, retrieving an egg. After their success, Simon and Galina share a kiss. Later, two springtails arrive and speak to Simon, leading him to Galina. On their way, they are ambushed by the warrior caste. Simon flees with the warriors hot on his trail. Simon squeezes through a tight space, managing to evade the warriors who cannot follow. He moves deeper into the nest, only to be surrounded by more warriors. He attempts to fight them off, but they overpower him and take him to the queen. To his shock, a creature has taken full control of Galina and is now speaking through her. The creature reveals that it is a caste, specialized in intelligence. The experiment Simon and Galina conducted triggered specific genetic protocols, giving birth to the creature. Despite being only a few weeks old, it possesses a racial memory spanning millions of years. The swarm has used this creature many times before to handle similar threats. Through Galina's memories, the swarm now understands humans and realizes they will be arriving in a few hundred years, posing a threat and competing with the swarm. The creature explains that humans will likely destroy themselves before they can pose a real threat, as intelligence is not the key to survival. It then tells Simon to look at the scavenger, revealing that their ancestors once made the entire galaxy tremble when they attacked. However, the swarm responded by breeding a smarter and tougher version of their own species to fight back. The swarm intends to breed Simon and Galina for the same purpose. With their genetic makeup, the swarm can clone both of them for breeding. The creature offers Simon a choice: remain an intelligent being and aid the swarm, or be controlled by it. The episode ends with Simon accepting the challenge, choosing to help the swarm, declaring that humans are different and will never become parasites. Please like and subscribe the channel for more videos like these.